Hello out there in Spanish land. This is for students of Spanish 1. This is the Vocabulario y Gramática for Capítulo 4, Paso 2, or Section 4.2, if you will. Fortunately, after a few weeks of a really big grind of lots of vocabulary, tons of sample sentences, and a whole lot of different slides, it starts to finally taper a little bit. There's still a lot, but it's not nearly to the degree that we've had the last several weeks. So, but some very important, very interesting information, some fun stuff as well. So let's go ahead and get to it right now. Vocabulary first, telling where people and things are. So you're going to get a lot of prepositions of location with this one. Prepositions of location. These would be things like on top of, next to, beside, near, far, that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Al lado de means next to or beside. Al lado de. Allá means there or over there. Aquí means here. Aquí. La biblioteca, the library. La biblioteca. La casa, the house. La casa. El centro, downtown. El centro. Cerca de means close to. Cerca de. El cine, the movies. Looks like the word cinema. Obviously, that is a cognate, a related word. So el cine, it's the movies or movie theater. El correo is the post office. El correo is just the word for mail in general. And actually, la oficina de correos would be like the post office. But correo can be either correos could be either the post office or mail. And correo is just the word for mail by itself. I should say it like that. Debajo de is underneath. Debajo de. Donde asks the question where. Encima de, on top of. Encima de. Estar means to be. In this case, it means to be in terms of location. It's not like the verb ser, like if you were to say yo soy baja, I am short, or él es alto, he is tall. This is a different kind of to be. This is like I would say estoy en clase, I am in class right now. Or ella está lejos de yo, she is far from me. Or no sé dónde estamos, I don't know where we are. Okay, so this has to do with location. Estar, to be located somewhere. El gimnasio, the gym or the gymnasium. Lejos de, far from. Lejos de. El parque, the park. El parque. El paseo is the path. Can also mean like el paseo del rastro, can also mean, it's another word that can also mean like street, can also mean sidewalk sometimes. So there's multiple ways you can translate that. El supermercado is the supermarket. El supermercado. La tienda, the store. La tienda. El trabajo is the work or the workplace. El trabajo. What you see down here is just another list of all 10 of our subject pronouns. We've actually already worked with these quite a bit, so this should all be reviewed for you. I'll go through these kind of quickly. Yo is I. Tú is you. Él is he. Ella, she. Usted, you formal. Nosotros, we. Vosotros, you all informal. Ellos, they masculine, sorry, or a group of people. Ellas is they feminine. And ustedes, you all formal. Ustedes. Okay, let's look at a few sample sentences. ¿Dónde estás? Asks, where are you? This is a conjugation of the verb estar. We're going to work with that in just a moment in our slides. No está en la clase de baile. He's not in the dance class. No está en la clase de baile. Estoy en el centro. I am downtown. The literal translation, I am in the center, but I'm downtown is the general translation. No está aquí. No, she's not here. I guess since I did not specify él or ella, it could be no, he or she is not here. Está en el trabajo. He or she is at work. Está en el trabajo. And very good. Those are some of your new new vocabulary words for section 4.2 and some sample sentences as well. I'd like to go ahead and take a look at some of our grammar points for this week. And in section 4.2, we're talking about location, reviewing subject pronouns again, and conjugating the verb estar. So first of all, I'm going to have to move myself around a little bit here, and I'll have to move this down as well. So I'll do this to start out. Good, we'll start out like that. Spanish speakers don't use subject pronouns as often as in English, or as often as English speakers do. That's because the verb endings usually indicate the subject of the verb. For example, in a sentence like, es inteligente, that is, he or she is smart. Well, in that case, I would have to use él es inteligente or ella es inteligente. So that would be the use of a subject pronoun. But when I say words like soy inteligente, soy only matches up with the word yo. So you know that, so you don't have to say the word I in your sentence. You could just say soy. Now you can say yo soy, but you don't have to. That element of doubling up and being a bit redundant is okay in Spanish, but it's not necessary like it's sometimes in English when we always use subject pronouns like I go, you go, he or she goes. Well, in Spanish, you can just say voy instead of yo voy, and that means I go by itself. Vas means you go or you are going. You don't have to say tú vas. So there's a little bit different there, okay? But the pronoun is sometimes used to emphasize or clarify the subject. Here are some rules. In general, tú is used to speak with people with whom you're on a first name basis, and usted is for more formal settings. This is review for us. In Spain, vosotros is the plural form of tú. It's like you all, but informal. While ustedes is the plural of usted. In the Americas, ustedes is the plural of both tú and usted. So in Spain, vosotros is more widely used, but in Central and South America, ustedes is used more often than vosotros. I'll move myself up here. There we go. The masculine forms, nosotros and vosotros, are used to refer to groups of males or groups including both males and females. The feminine forms, nosotras and vosotras, refer to groups only including females. Again, this is something we've already covered in class. Next, I'll move myself back to my normal spot. There you go, Mr. Moore. Actually, let's see if I can do this. There we go. Some subject pronouns continued. So again, yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, y ustedes. I say this in class all the time. I'll remind you now too. It's not just important to remember the meanings and definitions of all 10 of these words, but also memorize the order in which they come. It will help you to remember. It'll help you to pick up new vocabulary very quickly. Like, for instance, if you only knew that the word bailar meant to dance without ever being taught the meanings of any of these words, just knowing where they come in order, you would be able to say, oh, well, this is the first one, so it's the yo form. It must mean I dance. Bailas must mean you dance because it's the tú form, and tú is always the second one, and tú means you, so you plus to dance is you dance. That sort of a thing. That's the process. That's the system we're trying to install here. So, él, ella, and usted, baila, he, she, or you formal dance. Nosotros bailamos, we dance. Vosotros bailáis, you all, informal dance. Ellos bailan, they dance. Ellas bailan, they dance, only a group of women. And ustedes bailan, you all, formal dance. So, anyways, we're going to get more and more comfortable with this, and eventually we'll start just giving conjugations of verbs like this, and we won't even put the subject pronouns next to it. And when I say soon, I mean immediately. Here's the verb estar, which means to be located. So we know that yo estoy must mean I am, or I am located. Tú estás must mean you are, or you are located. Él, ella, or usted está, he is, she is, or you formal are. Nosotros estamos, we are. Estáis, vosotros estáis, you all informal are. And ellos, ellas, or ustedes están, they are, or you formal are, you all formal are. So that is conjugation of the verb estar. We're going to practice that a lot this week. Y eso es todo. And that is all. That is the entirety of our chapter for section 4.2. Obviously, a little bit less than the last few weeks. Hope that you're following along well. For extra credit this week, we're going to make it very simple. It's going to be almost the same as last week. I would like you to, on a note card, write the verb estar and 2 other AR verbs. It could be any 2 AR verbs that you choose that have been in our vocabulary in chapter 4. So it doesn't matter what they are. Estar and 2 other verbs, and memorize all of their conjugations, and I will give you a 1 to 2 minute quiz in class. You'll write down your estar plus 2 other verbs. You'll hand them to me, and I will say, let's say you chose estar, bailar, and cantar. I would say the yo form of estar, you'd say estoy. The tú form of bailar, you'd say bailas. The ella form of cantar, you'd say canta. The nosotros form of estar, estamos, and so on, okay? So if you're interested in trying that, it's almost the same as last week, all right? The only difference is instead of just 3 AR verbs, it's 2 AR verbs plus estar. So 3 total. They're just not as random. This time it has to be estar because that's a verb of focus for this week. Hope you enjoyed watching. Hope you're having a great time. Relax a little bit, but don't forget to study Spanish. We'll talk to you later. Bye.